Radiometric dating is the best argument there is for an old Earth. In fact, dating methods based on long-lived radioactive elements has been the toughest area for young Earth creationists to deal with. This is because, at first glance, it seems to prove the Earth is billions of years old. In fact, it has done more to persuade people of the evolutionary view of Earth history than anything else that exists. On the surface, it may seem almost ironclad, but studies involving helium diffusion rates in zircon crystals have shown a fundamental flaw in the assumptions behind radiometric dating. This line of research originates from the fact that zircon crystals contain large amounts of helium. Researchers have discovered that they have far more helium in them than they would have if they had been billions of years old. The helium in the crystals originates from alpha decay, but helium tends to be extremely slippery. It was suspected that if the uranium in these zircons had been steadily decaying for billions of years, most, if not all, of the helium would have leaked out by now. The problem was that the helium diffusion rate of the zircons had never been experimentally tested. As a result, the Institute for Creation Research, RATE project, set about to make these measurements using a professional laboratory. Before actually measuring the helium diffusion rate, RATE scientists created two different models. One based on an Earth of biblical age with accelerated nuclear decay, and the other assuming constant decay rates in an Earth that was billions of years old. The prediction of these two models are illustrated in the graph on the left with a difference in the diffusion rate of a factor of 100,000. This is a larger view of the graph, showing the difference between the two predictions in a clear manner. When the scientists got the results back from the laboratory, as plotted on the graph to the right, the results perfectly match the biblical creation model. This provides strong evidence for one or more past episodes of accelerated nuclear decay. This graph was reproduced directly from the original data, and it shows that the measured helium diffusion rates perfectly match those predicted by the creation model. This leaves absolutely no room for an old Earth. While others have tried to criticize these results by one means or another, one fact they cannot explain is that the results match the creation model perfectly. In fact, over the years since this research came out, I have yet to see anyone even try to explain this fact other than the fact that it supports the biblical timescale with accelerated nuclear decay. One old Earth creation group called Reasons to Believe produced a paper claiming to explain this issue. However, what it does is manipulate the data and assumptions to produce something that fits old Earth results. It is not an explanation, but a shameful, particularly for so-called Christians, effort at manipulating data to pretend it fits your side. Part of their attempt discussed a theoretical time of lower temperatures in the rock formation, but they ignore two factors. The first is that prior to this period of lower temperature, the temperature in the rock would have been hotter than it is today. Second, it does not explain the actual results. It would literally require the cold period to end just in time for rate researchers to get the results that fit their model. It is interesting to read a paper that claims to successfully challenge a set of results, but never actually does and only produces a set of fake results. Additional parts of the RATE project research have thrown further support for this model. One aspect includes discordant dates with the isotopes of different half-lives, which would be a natural result of a small change in the range of the strong nuclear force. Another aspect involves radiohalos providing evidence for rapid cooling of the granite during the Genesis flood. Polonium halos such as these are formed when polonium is carried by water between the biotite layers in the granite, but this only occurs when the granite is hot enough to erase any radiohalos. Polonium has a very short half-life, which means that the granite would have had to cool quickly. That is, it had to cool way too fast for old Earth geology. This research strongly suggests that the strongest assumption of radiometric dating, that of constant decay rates, is wrong. If this assumption is indeed wrong, then so is all of radiometric dating. This research produces strong scientific evidence in support of the biblical model and refuting the naturalistic one.